On-the-scene coverage of ACC-13 is supported by Janssen Pharmaceuticals, Incorporated.
Well, for on-the-scene video, we have a preview of ACC 2013. As always, a lot of late-breaking clinical trials, and one of them, which will headline the first day, will be the Heart Protection 2 Thrive study. We actually get a hint of myopathy issues already this week, but I guess it'll present the primary results of this study. Do you want to mention what that looked at?
Absolutely. It's a study looking at niacin in a specific formulation that was meant to reduce flushing. We already know from the press releases that, of course, the company is obligated to release that the trial didn't meet its primary endpoint, and we know from this week's publication that there were safety issues, namely myopathy, in the overall trial, particularly prominent in East Asian populations. So at least this formulation of niacin, it seems like, is pretty dead.
Yeah. It's been a big and bad year for HDL, and I think we're all looking forward really to see what exactly changed in terms of HDL from niacin, and what does this say moving forward.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to look at the subgroup, see if we can get a hint of where HDL raising might be useful.
Yeah. Not
with this compound, but perhaps with other niacin formulations.
Now, on a positive note, also from company press release, Deepak and co-chair Bob Harrington of Deepak will be presenting the Champion Phoenix trial, and this looked at the P2Y12 inhibitor, the intravenous version Cangrelor, in the cath lab. Do you want to mention briefly the design?
Sure. The study is really meant to be an all-comer PCI trial, so stable angina, non-STEMI, STEMI, the full gamut of patients, approximately 11,000 from around the world, who are randomized to either receive Cangrelor versus the local standard of care clopidogrel, essentially on the table. So for sites that are worried about pre-treatment and potential surgical bleeding from CABG and therefore don't pre-treat several hours beforehand, this trial was meant to address that very practical question: can you instead give an intravenous ADP inhibitor?
Oh, that's terrific. Well, looking forward to seeing that. Another neat interventional study looking at the pharmacoinvasive approach to STEMI, the STREAM trial. We used to call this facilitated PCI of early lytic and then plus or minus 2B3A, different cocktails. And this will be sort of the last hurrah, I think, of that early pharmacoinvasive strategy.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, at least, it's the last big trial examining this question of whether you can give some combination of pharmacotherapy followed by an invasive strategy, a so-called pharmacoinvasive approach, versus just trying to get everybody to the cath lab as quickly as possible. So a very important study.
Yeah. And on Monday, there'll be more interventional trials. There are other medical treatments as well, but I think one coming here from Massachusetts looking at the safety and efficacy of elective PCI at community hospitals.
That's right. Do you really need surgical backup or not is the question. And if the study doesn't show any difference, as one might suspect would be the case based on prior work, that could really open the door for community hospitals opening even more cath labs.
Well, changes ahead. I think there are lots of other trials, and stay tuned. Deepak and I, Tony DeMaria, and others will be covering the trials each day. There are new therapies for carotid intervention, pulmonary embolism, some thrombolytic trials, and many more. So we look forward to continuing coverage on the scene.